I just walked outside. I have a barn here on the ranch, and it's where my broadcast studio is, and I just walked out to get some fresh air a few minutes ago. And this is a day you will remember where you were, whatever side you're on. You'll remember this day. And I walk outside, and my son and another guy standing by this enormous tractor, and he's hitching it up to a trailer because they're moving a bunch of logs from one field to another because they're building a corral. And I don't have my glasses on, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is that Rafe? And I'm not sure because he's a man. This is the first summer where he's up here, and he is a man. And it was an interesting thought to have about my son, who now, in a couple of months, 18 years ago, a very brave young teenager, decided not to have an abortion. Decided that he had nothing to do with her mistake or whatever happened. And I remember we prayed so hard for a baby, and I felt almost from the beginning that we were supposed to adopt. And this is really hard for moms, really hard. Baby not from her body. And I think as guys we don't understand that, because I don't want anything coming out of my body. And if something comes out of my body, I'm not putting it in swaddling clothes, I'll tell you that. And we both wondered, how is this going to work? And there is something about God that he is my son, and there is no difference between him and any of my other children. None. Zero. Not even a shadow. And just by chance, if his birth mother happens to be listening, or his birth grandparents happen to be listening, thank you. Thank you for giving this young man a chance to live. He is, well, he's been a pain in the ass, but he's also my greatest joy. We have to look at the things that we do now, because there's a lot of, she was 14, I think. Imagine being a 14-year-old. I remember she called her mom because she went to school and she had to tell her mom, but she couldn't look her in the eye and tell her. So she called, didn't know what her mom was going to say, and her mom was so great. She immediately just said, "Come home, sweetheart, come home." And they worked it out together, what was going to happen. People who fight for the right to abort children say, who's going to take care of them? There's lots of us, millions of us, millions of us. Today, Roe versus Wade it came to an end. Catholics would point out on the feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and I doubt that they think that is a coincidence, just a coincidence. Because we know that the heart of Christ, the only thing he really got smoked at was children being abused. It was clear he liked children much more, than us adults. But then again, I don't blame him. I do too. But we can't just think of the children today that are going to be saved and then say, that's a good thing. We have to think of the moms. And, you know, I'm like this with Christians who just really want to get people baptized. They don't really care. It's all about the number. If you want to bring somebody closer to God in baptism, that is a fantastic gift, not from you, but from God. Fantastic. But nobody's going to do that if you don't actually love them. The people who need salvation, they don't think anybody loves them. The women who are pregnant, most, not all, but most, who are pregnant, they feel trapped. They don't know what they're going to do. We have to be there for them, not just during the time when they choose to keep the child, to help them, to support them. You know, it's so funny. I guess we both give up on, you know, once the baby is aborted or the baby is saved, then society on both sides kind of just turns away. I mean, is Planned Parenthood, are they concerned about the mental health? Because they deny it, that it's, no, people are celebrating their abortions. I don't think so. I don't think you can do that. And you may have felt like there was absolutely no way out, but at some point it will haunt you. What could have been. Think about just the mistakes you make in your life and how they bother you. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, there were times in my life where I said things to my mom or whatever. I carried those things around for 25 years. We have to have compassion for all of these women. Now, if you're going to use this for contraception, I don't know how to talk to you. I'll try, but I don't know how I can relate, because but I'm hoping most people aren't like that. I'm hoping that's the anomaly in our society that just thinks this is the way to have birth control. And one more thing on birth control. Why is that still a prescription? I'd like to say I'm not a doctor, but technically I am. But I'm not sure why that's still a prescription. Don't we know what that does? I mean, aren't we pretty sure? Yeah. That's what happens. This is all it does. It's a pretty safe drug. Do we not just trust people to use only as directed? I mean, we trust people. I mean, I see stuff all the time. It says, do not drink. Okay, well, it's turpentine, so I'm not going to drink it, but thank you for trusting me to know I'm smart enough not to do that. Don't put in eyes. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I don't put that, that cream in my eyes. Thank you. Good safety tip. I mean, just making contraception over the counter, the pill over the counter, would be helpful. Wouldn't it? It's a lot better to have them get a pill over the counter like that than have our daughters or anybody else think about the abortion drug that the FDA now will make sure that everybody can get. That thing is brutal. That's brutal. Anyway, I truly, as I go on vacation here in a minute, I truly thank God for living in these times. Would you live at any other time? I mean, I'm a little selfish because I'm a whiner. I don't, absolutely positively nothing before air conditioning. Nothing before air conditioning. I even would say I want to still live in a time where all my meat comes from a counter in a little plastic or a styrofoam tray. I mean, really, that's about as roughing it as I want to go. I don't want to go past those two things. Indoor toilets, yeah. But look at the times that we live in now. The miracles that are happening, the miracles of science, the freedoms that we do have. I have a guy who's on my staff. He's from Scotland, and once in a while he gets tired of hearing me whine about, this country is just, and he's like, come to Scotland, come to England. He's like, I know it's not what it was, but it's still the greatest place on earth. And it is. And just the victories just this week, there's going to be more, I think, next week. Just the victories in the Supreme Court. And it's not because of ideology. It's because the people who are put on the court now actually respect the Constitution of the United States. You know, Clarence Thomas and Kagan ruled together on, I don't know, something with Medicare today. What? I don't think they could agree on a dinner menu. But that's not because Thomas sold out or Kagan sold out. I know with Thomas, at least, that's because he believes that's what the Constitution says. And that's what's so great about it. It doesn't cut your way every time. You don't always win. You don't always get your way. Today's a great day. Praise God. Praise God. We have taken this huge step today. Lord, see your people and keep them safe and keep the people who are actually working in these pro-life clinics, our judges, our police, our cities. Please keep them safe.